Now, so what we got is a 2-minute E-mini chart up here. You can see we put in a resistance level there, kind of a double top. And over on the right, I've got my time and sales window. Two things that we're looking at here. So number one, we've got two bearish signals on there. Number one is you'll see the block. It says block. It's kind of cut off there, BLO and a half of a C. So that's a block trade, and I have my block trade set for 100 contracts or higher. And then below that, you'll see we have, well, we've got those in red, and then below that we have some magenta numbers. What that means is there's been some slippage there, that people have been aggressive in selling. They didn't hit the side of the market they wanted to, and they got at least a pip or a tick of slippage there in this case, since we're talking about futures contracts. And so that shows aggressive selling. And again, there's nuances to this, but that's basic interpretation of how we look at it. Okay, so as we're looking at this, you can see we've got some green orders coming in, some buying, some selling, etc. But another thing that I want to point out is I have filtered my TAM and sales window. So you'll notice that the smallest number there is 20 contracts. Now there's 4 columns. So the left column is time. The second left column is the price at which something was bought or sold, whether it hit the bid or the ask specifically. And then the third column is how many contracts. And then the fourth one is whether it's a block trade or not. And block trade, again, you can adjust that however you want. I've got it set to 100 contracts. So I have set mine also with another filter where the only the only sales that show up are 20 contracts or more. So the idea there is to see, okay, what are the big dogs doing? What are not necessarily the huge whales? So I've got 2 levels of filters that I'm using here. One is I'm filtering out any buys or sells that are less than 20 contracts, because I want to really track the bigger money, people with bigger accounts, with the kind of idea that the big money is the smart money. And then the really big money is 100 contracts or more. All right, so those are the 2 levels that we're measuring here. So we're not seeing anything at all that's under 20 contracts, no orders, and then we're marking those that are 100 or more. Now you just see we had another block trade come in at 101, 101 contracts, and that is a green order, so you could assume that that's kind of a buy. Now again, there's nuances to this stuff, so you could think, oh, well, they're buying, but not necessarily. Maybe they're covering a short, or maybe they just got hit on the other side of the market. So the one thing I want to want to say about time and sales is that it is one of the more challenging ways to trade. It is a type of tape reading, but it's not the easiest thing to do. There are nuances that you've got to look for, and I consider it more advanced, and you got to have a lot of experience under your belt. Plus, it can change very, very quickly. So this is not really for beginners, in my personal opinion. It's something that has to be learned over time, kind of get a feel for it. And we're really looking for, again, preponderance of the evidence. So just because you get a big order coming in doesn't mean, oh, the market's going to go up. Hey, we got 101 contracts here, therefore the market's going to go screaming up. No. Hey, I wish it was that easy. Right, we just had 120 contracts, and the market didn't go down dramatically. So we got a little battle of the war. But right now, looking at the balance of things, I would say that we're bearish here. Why? Because we got our black trade red. We got a little slippage going to the downside. How much evidence is that? Not a whole heck of a lot. All right, so now, and then the other thing you want to watch is the speed of how fast the time and sales is scrolling. Now, it's not scrolling very fast. So, we just had another block order come in at 122, got another magenta line there. So, okay, again, bearish sentiment. Notice the bars are moving up. So this is what's kind of cool, right? We got a green bar, but we've got some short selling signals on the time and sales. So that's where this can be a bit at times a leading indicator. Oh, the other thing we want to look for now, we're getting more and more red. So the more red you get, the more that we're looking on the bearish side.